Hello, today we will go over the maintenance plan for the Tiemann Lrst liftgate. Operate the liftgate throughout its entire operational cycle and check the following. An entire cycle includes lower the liftgate from its stored position to the ground, unfold the platform to horizontal position, tilt the platform to the ground, raise the platform to bed level, lower the platform to the ground, fold the platform against the kicker, and raise the gate to its stored position. Check for unusual noises or vibrations while the gate is being operated. Check the platform level. Check that when the truck is on level ground and the platform is in its leveled and unloaded position, that the entire load surface is level or towed up at the ramp tip so that when the usual load is placed on it, it becomes leveled under load. Here we are showing the platform towed up. Now we will show you how to adjust the tow if needed. Loosen the locking set screws using a 3/16 Allen wrench. Using a 1.5-inch wrench, adjust the leveling screws. To make the tip move up, unscrew the screw. To make the tip go down, turn the screw in. Make sure both leveling screws are making contact with the pivot hinge so both screws carry equal loads. Make sure to tighten the locking set screws on both sides. Now we will check the platform height relative to the spacer. If the platform is lower than the spacer on one side, adjust the cylinder on the low side with a 13/16 wrench to obtain the necessary height. Loosen the set screw. Adjust the cylinder. Turn the rod in to the clevis to raise the platform. Turn the rod out of the clevis to lower the platform. Make sure the platform is level to the spacer across its width. Tighten the locking set screws on both sides. Check for apparent damage to the liftgate. Examples are a bent or distorted dock bumper or rear impact guard, cracked welds on the platform, or a distorted kicker roller. Check for any excessive wear in the following pivot areas: the aluminum platform hinges, shoulder bolts, and bushings, all cylinder pins and bushings, all pins joining the lift arm or idler arms to the trunnion and platform, the kicker pins, bushing, roller, and the rest of the assembly components, stow pins or nylon pads on the spacer. The spacer has two styles, the old and new. We will get to that in a few minutes. And the optional rear impact guard pins and bushings. Excessive wear allowed to progress more than a 32nd of an inch, as shown, will require repairs which could become expensive. Now we will show you the excessive wear areas in motion. Note, for bushed pivots, if the gap between pin and bushing exceeds a 32nd of an inch, the bushing should be replaced. For pivots without bushings, replace worn components if the gap between the pin and the pivot exceeds a 32nd of an inch. Refer to the parts breakdown in the owner's manual. The aluminum pivot hinge with excessive wear. The cylinder connection points showing excessive wear. The lift arm and idler arm connection points showing excessive wear. The kicker assembly components will need to be checked for less than a 32nd of an inch of wear. The chain should also be checked as it will wear and the links could become weak. Here we have the old style spacer. The platform would stop against the 1/4 inch thick gusset, allowing for wear. The new style spacer provides a nylon pad with a larger stopping surface, and it is replaceable. Wear of stow pins or wear pads can result in spacer gussets marking aluminum platform. Here is the optional rear impact guard showing excessive wear. More excessive wear examples. Bushing replacement instructions for each area are located in a separate bushing replacement video. Check that all pins, bolts, and hardware are in place and retained by their proper retainers. Refer to the owner's manual for proper part numbers. Check that all protective covers and guards are properly in place and secured. Check painted finishes. If in poor condition, then repaint. Any rusted parts should be replaced where strength has been reduced as a result of rust. Check the condition of the non-painted parts. Replace if corrosion exists. ECK from Vinyl.com should be used to prevent corrosion between dissimilar metals. Refer to the bushing replacement video for proper application instructions. This is the only Tiemann approved product. Do not use Never-Seize or similar anti-seize products. They contain abrasive components which will shorten the life of the fiber wound bushings. Check the snubbers while the platform is in its stored position. Make sure they are compressed against the platform. If not, replace them. It is necessary that the gate is in this position for travel, otherwise the gate can bounce, causing premature wear. Operators may think it's okay to rest the gate in the spacer latches. It is not. The stow pins must be against the spacer stops and the platform must be compressed against the snubbers. Check for oil leaks in these areas. The lift cylinders, the hydraulic hoses, replace if they show signs of wear or cracking. The hydraulic fittings, tighten or replace as may be required to stop leakage. Check the oil level in the hydraulic reservoir. With the lift gate in the stowed position, the oil should be within a 1/2 inch from the top of the reservoir. It is filled with Dexron 3 from the factory. Check that all wiring and battery cable connections are tight and free of corrosion. Loose or corroded connections will create voltage drops and energy loss. Lubrication of the LRST 40 liftgate should be as follows. Use SAE 10 to 20 weight oil for the spacer latches every 50 cycles. Change the pump oil yearly. Check the owner's manual for hydraulic fluid chart. Check the pump relief pressure and the motor amperage at this pressure. Both can be checked by plumbing a pressure gauge into the C1 high pressure port and running the gate into the stored position for a few seconds to reach relief pressure. Use a clamp meter around the main power cable to the motor start solenoid to check DC amperage at the same time. Max amp draw 255 amps. Relief pressure 2,650 psi. LRST periodic lubrication. The LRST is equipped with self-lubricating Teflon bearings at all the pivot points that turn as the gate goes up and down. The platform folding pivot does not turn as the gate moves, so it is not equipped with Teflon bearings. Apply oil near the top holes of the 3-hinge pivot plates and across the coils of the fold assist springs. This will keep the platform folding freely. Fold and unfold the platform to spread the oil. The platform leveling pivot is equipped with self-lubricating Teflon bearings, but oil should be applied periodically between the plates of the lower lift arm that straddle the upper lift arm. Periodically apply oil here to keep the leveling action working smoothly. Cycle the liftgate to spread the oil. Replacing the hydraulic fluid should be done as shown. Raise the platform to bed. This will empty the fluid from the butt end side of each cylinder into the reservoir. Securely support the platform with a forklift. Siphon the used fluid from the reservoir. Disconnect the hydraulic lines at the pump. And place them in a bucket to catch the fluid. Slowly lower the platform to push the fluid from the cylinder. Remove the reservoir and clean the suction line filter as required. Remount the reservoir. Reconnect all hoses to pump and fill the reservoir with approved hydraulic fluid. Check the owner's manual. Bleed the hydraulic hoses. It will be helpful to have a second person assist with bleeding the fluid from the hydraulic hoses. Once the connection is open, have the assistant bump the up toggle to push fluid through the hose. Tighten the connection as soon as possible to keep air from getting in. Bleed one side, then the other. Now that the lines have been bled, raise the gate to bed height. Fluid will need to be added to the reservoir as the gate is raised, or air can be drawn into the lines and the system will need to be rebled. Operate the gate several times. Check the fluid level. With the gate in the stored position, the fluid should be 1/2 inch from the top of the reservoir. When ordering parts, have the serial number ready. The serial tag is located on the outside of the curbside mounting plate or on the curbside end of the 8x8 trunnion.